Hello and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be another card in my Mother's Day 2018 card series. This design, I'm going to show you some very simple watercoloring, some very simple punching, and some die cutting. All the elements together come to make a really elegant card, and I hope that you will try it yourself. I'll be using the Stampin Up Amazing You stamp set and the Celebrate You thinlets, which coordinate with that. I'll be using the Stampin Up Something to Celebrate stamp set and these Fairies and Dandelions stamp set, which I got from Amazon. I'll be using the Stampin Up Small Butterfly Punch and this stamp from the Stampin Up Mother's Love stamp set. I'll also need some rhinestones. And I'm going to be doing some embossing, so I have my clear embossing powder and my embossing buddy. I have a clipboard here, and I have put the watercolor paper down with this purple tape, which is low tack, to hold it in place. And I have all of my inks in order that I'm going to use them to make it easier so I don't have to think about it. And I have some paper towels, a water brush, and some water, clean water, and a paintbrush. If you did not have the distress stains, you could do the same technique with the regular distress ink pads. You would just need to have a palette of some sort to work from. So the first step is to wet this paper. So I'm going to go all the way across, and I see I have a little bit of paint residue from before, but that's fine. And make sure that the paper is good and saturated, because I want the color to flow. So I'm starting with the lightest color, and I'm just going to go straight across the paper with the color. This is very easy. And at this point I'm not blending it because I don't want to get the dauber tops messed up, but it will be blended in a moment. I'm just trying to get the colors down first. Oops. Okay. Now that I have all the colors, I'm going to go answer the door. Now that I have all the colors, I'm going to use the water pen and blend them. So you just go straight across. And when you go into the next color, it will automatically blend. And just carry the color straight on up. And it's easy as that. Now you don't want to go back over it because you'll bring the blue down. So if you want to give another pass, clean your brush out and then go over. Okay, and if you have too much water on the end like I have here, just bring your paper towel and sop that up. And you see how fast and simple that was. Okay, now I'm going to bring in my heat tool and dry it. Okay, I think that's dry enough. Yep. Now carefully pull back the tape and pull it back on itself. And there we have one watercolor panel, and it took almost no time. And this is larger than I need, so I'm going to trim it down to the size that I need. Before I trim this, there's a trick that I learned from Christina Warner when you watercolor. You just take your panel and run it right through your big shot, just like this, and it will take out the extra waviness of the paper and help it get a little bit more flat. So now it's really flat. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is to die cut the Amazing out of this glitter foam. This is adhesive back. Now ordinarily I would use this on my big shot, but this is a little bit thick, so I'm going to use my Gemini die cut machine to cut this. Unfortunately, I can't do that on camera because the machine is so big and so heavy, I can't bring it into my little area here. But I will link to that machine down below. It does an excellent job for doing a whole bunch of die cuts at once and also thick things. So I'll be right back. Okay, the Gemini machine really makes easy work of cutting this thick foam. I just wanted to show you how easy it comes out. Just separates right out, no problem. And because it's adhesive back, there's a sticky on the back of it, so it will stick to the cardstock. I just need to punch out these extra stuff. Okay, next step. I'm going to use my Stamp-O-Majic to help me line up the stamp so I can stamp on this little narrow piece of paper. So I've already taken the stamp and inked it up and pushed it into the corner of the Stamp-O-Majic and went straight down and straight up and put an imprint onto the film. And now I'm going to just simply line it up straight as I can get it, because I put it a little bit crooked on the block. And I'm going to hold the paper in the film, bring in the handle, and once I have it in place, I'm going to push down hard, which will hold the paper and the handle, and just stamp it straight down and straight up. And there we are. I'll do the same thing for this one. Now it's time for me to do stamping on the front panel. I have my embossing buddy, and make sure that your panel is very, very dry before you do this part. Otherwise you will get a hot mess and you do not want that. So I'm being really generous with the embossing buddy, and my stamps are already in position ready to go. So I'm going to stamp all over it, and I just remembered I need a piece of paper because this extends a little bit. Grab a piece of paper real quick. Now. And I'm just going to ink it right on up. And I'm going to do it 2 times to make sure I get a really good dark impression. And then once I get that down there, I'm going to quickly dump it into the clear embossing powder. And the embossing powder will stick to the Versafine as long as you move quickly. Okay, I'll just dump this in. Give it another pass, make sure I got it, and flick off the extra. There. Now I'm just going to run this through the heat tool. I'll be right back. There we go. Just needs to let that dry a little bit. So if you had tried to do this with black, you would run the risk of getting little black spatters all over everything, and that's not a nice look. So it's very easy to do clear over Versafine. Now I have the mat for the card, and I'm going to get 2 butterflies out of it. You can always do this and save yourself a little bit of paper. But since these things are so small, you could have gotten a piece of black and it would have been just the same. Okay, now I have some fun foam, and this fun foam doesn't have adhesive on the back, so I'm going to have to put tape on it to adhere it to the card. The card panel. This is a little bit smaller than this, so that I don't have to worry about trying to line this up. But everything else from this point is just assembling the card, so I'm going to let the music run and put everything together. And that's the finished card. I perked up the butterfly wings a little bit with my tweezers, but it's very simple. This is a beautiful watercolor sky, and it was very easy to do. I hope you try this card yourself, and I hope that you are encouraged by the videos that I'm making to get you to step outside of your comfort zone and try cards which are a little bit more challenging but still very simple. I'd like to thank you for watching. Please hit that subscribe button, and I'd like to also thank my brother David for the music, and I truly hope you're enjoying it. Everyone, take care and have a happy Mother's Day.